Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today I'm going to blow your damn mind. You know why? Because I watched Charles Hoskinson break down midnight in a whiteboard video. I'm going to share a little bit of it with you in a little bit. But I noticed that a lot of the comments in the chat were basically saying, I love what he's saying, but I have no idea what he's saying. I love what it sounds like, but I don't know what it means. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something and I'm going to show everybody. Like his whiteboard is definitely difficult to see on YouTube. So what I did was I started recreating it. Okay. And through the recreation of this, I was just really paying close attention to what he was saying. And it was almost like an epiphany. It was like it all came to me and I realized this is what they're building. So I'm going to explain it to you because I haven't been fully aware of exactly how this is all, like what all this is about, right? But now I am, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm freaking because I realize why Cardano's building slowly. And here's the thing, and I'm just going to be straight up. I was shaking a little bit ago, and to some of you guys, you're like, why would Crow be so emotional about something? Listen, when I first started reading up on Cardano, and I was starting to read all of the papers and everything related to its development and its plans and what it was all going to be, I remember midnight being discussed, but I don't remember it being discussed by name. At the time, everything was laid out in a way that was like, this is everything that we're going to do. This is our plan for the world. This is how it's all going to work. And since then, over time, they've been breaking it down into individual phases, eras, development cycles, milestones, all of these different facets of development. And then when I watched this video from Charles tonight, I caught like the last 20 minutes of it. And then I went back to the beginning and I started watching it from scratch. And it just absolutely blew my mind. The realization that's going to hit you guys in the face here in just a few minutes, and you realize what's going on, you're going to know Cardano is going to take over everything in huge ways. And I'm going to explain to you why. My wife is calling me right now as I'm recording because I knew she was going to. I'm going to call her back as soon as I'm done with this video. I love her very much. It's just how my wife rolls. I passively just told her I'll call her when I'm done. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at the recreation of a lot of the whiteboard that I've seen so far. And what you're seeing is the Cardano asset settlement layer. This is everything's in this green box is kind of like it's everything that makes up Cardano from its development cycles related from Byron all the way to Voltaire. And it's all wrapped in what Charles refers to as the best-in-class on-chain governance system, notably the CIP 1694 and MBG, with other programs associated with it like Laos and Babel fees. And within this asset and settlement layer, you've got the Cardano native assets. You have ADA itself, you have the EUTXO model, you have Plutus, you have Ouroboros, right? All of this stuff is basically like a country. And this is going to make sense in a minute, because ultimately what this big green box here is the country of Cardano. And within this country of Cardano, you have a framework of rules. You have what I'm going to call the constitution of the country. Just like the United States has a constitution, okay? What you have here is a constitution. Now, that's going to be a point soon. Now, to the bottom left here, you've got dApps, okay? All of this information represents a single decentralized application. You have the Cardano native asset. Potentially, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but let's just say your dApp is running a Cardano native asset. You're going to be pulling off-chain data from one place. You're going to have an oracle of some kind, likely with like a chain link. And this dApp is going to use Marlowe for your settlement and financial logic and ownership data. Okay, so all of that stuff associated with settlement and financial logic, ownership, all of that is going to be utilized through Marlowe. And you're going to connect all of your off-chain and on-chain data through Plutus. All right. So you have all of these different frameworks that are enabling you to utilize your application, your functionality, and ultimately connect it to the blockchain. Now, what Midnight is it's the first state of this. It's like a fourth generation state to Cardano's third generation blockchain. It's country, right? And within this country, we will have an endless number of states, and each one of these states are going to ultimately share the same constitution. But within this country, as its own state, it can have its own blockchain, its own tokenomics, its own transaction logic, its own network logic, and its own consensus logic. And ultimately, this service layer concept is meant to further decentralize Cardano's infrastructure over time. Okay? The first service level blockchain on Cardano to show companies what they can do on Cardano with this new fourth generation technology. That, ladies and gentlemen, is ultimately the gist of the first section of this whiteboard. And what Charles is trying to explain is that ultimately they built Cardano. They're finalizing a lot of it. Now they have an additional team that is basically finalizing the framework and everything associated with Midnight. Midnight is a service layer blockchain. It's basically like a new state within this country of Cardano, sharing the constitution, but with its own set of laws and rules associated with its particular use case. And then what's going to happen is that it will be secured by the Cardano blockchain through the stake pool operators. So as Midnight is being secured by the stake pool operators, it's going to create this interwoven highway of throughput related to their tokens and their token metrics, tokenomics, and all of that. So that's why you're likely, I'm assuming this is the case, you're likely going to be getting Dust as well as ADA on whatever node. If you're delegating to a node that supports Midnight, then you're also going to be generating Dust. And I'm pretty sure it will be in conjunction with, not if or, ADA. Okay, now here's the kicker. Ultimately, what's being boiled down here is when you get to this section of the lecture, he starts talking about other applications or other blockchains like Midnight. Maybe this one is this niche feature or functionality, or this basically what it's boiling down is, let's say you're trying to build a high-end sports car. Okay, in order for this sports car to operate the way you want it to, you're going to need high-end tires, right? So maybe there's another company that offers really high-end tires so that this high-end sports car can go really fast without an insane amount of wear and tear on the tires, right? So that company will specialize in these high-end tires. So we're going to pull those tires from that company and we're going to put it in our country. And then let's say this other company creates these really high-end lumbar seats that grab you when you're turning hard, right? Well, that's coming from another country. But ultimately, all of these service layer blockchains, the seats, the tires, all of the companies are going to come together and they're going to share the same fuel line. So the company is all these companies are going to be offering their niche focuses, and they're going to bring it all together in one cohesive economy. All are spinning through their tokens, all being secured through the stake pool operators, and all sharing that same fuel line so that they're all able to live and breathe amongst each other through different laws, but sharing the same constitution. That, my friends, is the most powerful thing I think anybody's seen in blockchain to date. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is why companies now like Ethereum are looking to try and copycat off of Cardano's infrastructure. Because why? Because Cardano's about to take over all blockchains out there. And I know this sounds grandiose, but if what I just explained to you doesn't make sense, if it still doesn't make sense to you, because this isn't just about a car and it's not just about a country, because what's really at stake right here is the globe. And when you take it out of context, right? If you say, oh, well, this isn't about a country and a bunch of little states. No, this is ultimately about creating a framework from which any company on the blockchain in the world will be able to become a part of this ecosystem, and all of the others will be able to share in the benefits of whatever specialty or niche or function or service that these other service layers offer. And just around and around we go in this full-blown economy. I'm telling you, I am more excited right now after Charles' whiteboard lecture that I've been inspired. I mean, I inspired on another level. To be honest, I've had all these plans to start covering all of these shit coins all over the internet and basically talk about all my favorite altcoins that might go to 100x. I honestly just don't give a shit anymore, people. I just don't. Every time I try to wrap my head around the idea of covering other blockchains because of profitability, I lose interest. I lose interest in the space. If you notice what I've not done in the past week, I haven't really done very much of anything. I did a video today about UFO. I don't give a shit about UFO, people. I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. Since I discovered Cardano and I've been following its development ever since, I've never cared about anything other than Cardano or Cardano-based applications. And so it's been a really big challenge for me. And after watching this video tonight, I was reminded once again why I was so passionate about it in 2017, why I held strong through all of the doubters and the FUD and the bullshit that every other project out there has been throwing at me. And I am stronger today than I ever was then. And I know that I sound like I'm preaching from a mountaintop, but I am, because this group, Charles, all of these people, they have been masterminding the complete evolution of blockchain tech since 2017, and it's starting to come to fruition. And if you haven't woken up yet, you're going to be left behind, because a lot of the shit coins that we're all trading and talking about, expecting 100x or 1000x gains, we might get them, but I guarantee you the vast majority of those are going to fall to shit by the peak of the next market cycle or just after, and you're going to be left with nothing. This is an ecosystem that is absolutely going to take over all of blockchain. I don't really give a shit about any others anymore, and that's all I have to say. It's late. It's nighttime. I'm cutting this short. I'll catch up with this maybe tomorrow. Until next time, crow your coins. I hope you guys I hope this makes sense to you. I'm going to dive deeper into this whiteboard video. I'm going to continue deciphering it. There's so much to it. And I know I'm not going to sleep tonight if I keep going further. And I need to get some sleep because I just had a freaking root canal today. Until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you soon.